All right, everyone. So, welcome to this session. Our today's speaker is Mr. Analkumar Shahi, who is a proud alumnus of IIT Roorkee and IIM Ahmedabad. He's currently a product manager at Tata 1MG, and he's here to guide all of us on how we can develop our product senses. So, over to you, sir.
Thanks for that, Tulvi. Hi, everyone. Before we start, if possible, can you guys just comment in the chats which year you are in, or if you are from another college or doing an MBA, just comment in the chats around which year you are in so that I have a sense of what I can talk about, what I should avoid. Interesting. Oh, that's quite young. Okay. All right, I have a sense of what kind of audience I'm talking to. Okay, so I hope everyone has gone through the wonderful material the eCell team has provided to all of you. Let me know if my voice is not coming clearly. I'll have to do something on my end. But for now, I'll just proceed as is. Okay. Is my screen visible? Can't say anything here.
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible.
Okay. All right. Cool. Let's begin. So before we start, if someone wants to just talk about what they understand product managers do, that would be amazing. Anyone who wants to volunteer. And Turvi, just let me know if they can actually talk here, like if they can unmute.
Right. Yeah, so anyone who wants to speak up, they can raise their hands. Our team will try unmuting them if it's possible. Or you can just answer in the chat also.
Okay. Yeah, so anyone who wants to take a guess. Yeah, Manoj is raising his hand. We can give him the Manoj, can you unmute?
Yeah, Manoj, you can unmute now. So please go ahead.
Manoj, are you able to unmute at all? Can you answer this? Okay, creating products that best suit the needs and ensuring it reaches the intended audience. Good. Not an issue. Okay. All right. So yes, partially true, Hemant. We do create products that try to solve a particular need for an audience. But we are not exactly the developers, so we are not developing anything, right? It's more about, sorry, video nahi aa raha. Someone just commented. Can you just tell what do you mean by this exactly?
Sir, on our end, your video and audio is clear. So.
All right. All right. Let's just start then. So guys, I'll give you a better glimpse at what product managers actually do. We typically have the role of identifying the right question that the team should be solving. The solution itself is not something, while we own it and we do have a huge say in it, it's not something that the product managers are supposed to provide per se. Having said that, there would be 10 different ideas which can come up. So let's say, just to give an example, the most famous example I think I've ever heard is what Henry Ford said. So he said, if I had asked people would have asked for faster horses, right? The point is, there are multiple solutions which may exist. The product manager's role is to figure out which problems to be solved. And I am a little confused with why not clear. Achha.
So you are clear on our end. There might be an issue with your internet power. So maybe you can check that. On our end,
With
you are completely clear.
okay, with the Pavan's internet maybe. Okay, guys, I am just going to ignore it for now. It seems that the internet issue might be at your end. Just try to rejoin or something. But for now, I would say that focus on the audio and the slide which is shared. So if the slide is shared, not shared with you, that's a bigger concern. My face will definitely not give you any yarn. Okay. All right. So coming back to it, see, the product manager's role is to identify the right problem to be solved and then discuss with either a team or someone within your organization to figure out what solutions will work and what solutions won't work. Okay. And like if you just ask people around, everyone will come up with some or the other solution. But it's your job to figure out whether it makes sense to do something or not. And this quality of, identifying, okay, this solution will work and this solution won't work. That's exactly what product sense is. Okay. Uh, so let's, like I have just articulated it here. The ability to identify the real user problem or needs that need to be resolved, and then crafting a simple solution to achieve that. That's all a product manager does. The actual coding, the data analysis, designing of UX, everything else typically done by someone else. A product manager may do it. In a lot of companies, that expectation is there as well. But largely, the role requires you to identify the right problems and identify the right solutions. Okay. Now, I have given a few examples of Gmail, YouTube, Spotify, and Airbnb. Now, I know the audience will be largely Gen Z, but I hope these examples do tell you a little about how these products actually came in existence and why they work. So Gmail, when it came about, at that point of time, typically all the other email providers would give you 2 to 4 MB of data in which all your emails need to be stored. So every time you exceed this limit, you have to delete your emails to sort of get new emails into your account. At this stage, when Gmail has existed for, I don't know, maybe 20 odd years now, it feels almost stupid to delete emails. But yeah, at some point of time, that was the case. Similar to that, if you look at YouTube, uh, again, there was a huge complexity in sharing and watching videos online back before YouTube. People needed to have coding skills just to put yourself onto the internet. YouTube solved that, and that's why it gained a lot of traction. It gave people something which they could not have done earlier, and it's a huge need. In case of YouTube, it's the need to feel seen. I'll not go through Spotify and Airbnb, pretty self-explanatory. But the idea is, see, product sense is all about finding that one thing which will make your users stick and for which they'll, use your product a lot more or give you money to use certain solutions. Okay. That's the idea which every product manager chases. And that's the whole idea of why product sense as a competence exists. Uh, this probably will be the most boring slide. After that, I'll have a few slides where I would want a lot more participation from your end. But see, product sense is not a skill per se, it's a collection of different skills. And most important of all of them is to understand the user psychology. So what I mean by that exactly is, see, every solution that you typically come up with makes the user behave in a certain way. And you need to understand that mechanics so that you'll be able to sort of create better solutions for them, or uh, at least ensure that your tech team is not working on something which will not really help the users. Okay. This, I would argue, understanding the user psychology is the most important piece that is needed if you're, trying to become a product manager. The rest of the pieces, if we talk about critical reasoning, prioritization, UX, sensibility, data fluency, tech awareness, you'll find a lot of material which is relevant. Understanding user psyche, however, is something which you just need to practice. Actually, critical reasoning also you need to just practice and get better at. But yeah, I mean, uh, critical reasoning is something you can learn for a lot of different places. User psychology, however, is something very unique to product and design. Okay. Uh, is everyone able to follow till now? Just say yes in the chat if you can. And if you are able to see the slide properly too, that will be great. Cool, cool, cool. Chalo. Now that you guys have understood it, have you all come across Instagram stories? I want you to just type in the chat why Instagram stories as a feature works. So if you don't know what Instagram stories is, I'll just quickly recap. On Instagram, every time your friends want to share some small details with you and the larger audience, they can put up stories on their profile, and that will be visible to you for 24 hours. Okay. And this is a very strategic feature that I think Snapchat was the first one to release it, but everyone else copied it. But it's a very strategic feature, which is why it works. And it's a beautiful story in itself. I will not go into the exact detail of why it works, why product managers are a fan of it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but I will definitely talk about what is it about stories that typically works for, the people. See, thanks for that, Shankar. But could you answer the question that has been asked now? Yeah, Snap definitely did it first. Everyone else copied it from there. Guys, any guesses? I just see one. Okay, sure. Okay, 1 minute attention spans is quite unique of an answer, to be honest. All right. All right. So, see, now everyone who has answered, they have answered from one or two lenses, right? Uh, I will not talk about the monetization aspect. Someone had written about advertisements and promotions also. But no, that's not the real goal behind the feature itself. Uh, and there's a mechanic by which you place ads in strategic places. But more than anything, what you need to understand is there are two users here, okay, or rather two user personas. Yeah. Let me know if the slide shows sharer and viewer views. Okay. So there's a sharer persona who, so as I think someone had written this, easy way and temporary way to share your life with everyone. But there's also a viewer persona. And this persona is arguably the one which drives the entire business for Insta. So to give you an example, what they are looking for exactly is See, I have a lot of friends. I want to stay updated with their life. And that's the entire piece here. The 24 hours is a very strategic thing because what Instagram is trying to do with the 24 hours is to ensure that this viewer guy comes every 24 hours at least and checks out videos or sorry, the stories on the platform. And stories always work since the user or the individual can have daily access on that. Okay. Okay. See, again, for the sharer, low effort, temporary way, Instagram could have done 10 different things to make that happen. Okay. Temporary could have meant 7 days. It could have meant when I want to remove it, there should be an easy option. Or let me set kitne time dikhna hai. Okay. Instagram chose to keep it 24 hours, did not provide any flexibility there. The reason is they want to ensure that this persona, the viewer persona, comes back every 24 hours. And it's something which is directly captured in business terms. So I'm not sure if you have learned about metrics yet. I'm assuming you have not, but there are retention metrics which typically product managers track, or for that matter, the business tracks, which tells you how much the user is returning to the app after using it again and again. Okay. And that's the major thing which Instagram is looking for. Now here, we talked about 3 things. We talked about the user psychology in terms of uh, how they want to share or how they want to view. We talked about certain UX principles. We also talked about metrics very sparingly. It's a more important aspect to the whole Instagram stories feature than I have made it seem right now. But considering you guys are new to this format or new to product management, I'll spare you the details. Having said that, you can just talk to GPT and try to get a sense of how retention is mapped to this particular feature, right? Okay. Let's do another one. We have Instamart. How many of you have used Instamart? I think Manoj has. Okay, cool. So what do you think? What's the user persona they are serving? Or what are the different user personas they are serving instead? Okay, no need to go to the shop. Instant delivery one. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but sure. But think about the user personas. Like think about who is using it, when they are using it. Okay. After coming from the office, that's good. User personas. Of messages. Yes, keep it coming, guys. I'm trying to read it. People with busy life. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I will stop you guys here. Uh, just think about what happened right now. I asked you guys to think about the user personas and you try to probably put yourself into positions of why people would be using Instamart and came up with, okay, if people have less time, they would use this service. Or, what was it? I think one was around hostel students looking for convenience. And actually a lot of good ones. Laziness, sure. Yes, people can be lazy too. So yes, I have listed down a few of them. By no means are these exhaustive. Spare me for that. But what we need to sort of understand is, okay, I like why this is important for a product manager is because these personas are the ones for whom I'm trying to create something. Okay. And if I don't understand who they are and what they want with life and what are their constraints, it becomes very difficult to make anything for them. And it's typically like people call it user empathy. Uh, it's not necessarily about empathizing with the user. There are a lot of users, at least I'm working at Tata 1MG. At a lot of places, I don't like it will be unfair to say that I empathize with the user, but I definitely understand their struggles. Okay. Uh, and what is important to understand is that if you understand their struggles and if you can sort of put yourself in their place, then you can also feel the pinch of the minor delays that a feature can have. Minor delays can affect on the user, or let's say this particular person, I want late night snacks instantly so I can satisfy a craving without delay. Okay. What if Instamart was not working at night time? That just defeats the purpose now. So understanding who you're solving for inherently will make you tackle the right problems, and then the solutions will always be about the right problem statements. Saurav, if you have a question, you will have to do a lot more than just question marks. Huh? In the meantime, I'll just proceed for now. Uh, while this is one way to divide the user personas, yeah, yeah. Sorry, someone is saying something, but I'm unable to hear.
Sorry to break you between, Bhaiya. Just a second. I just want all the attendees, if you have any questions, you can keep your mic mute currently. You can just raise your hand and I'll allow you to speak.
Okay.
You can.
Okay. All right. I'll continue. So guys, this is one way to divide your users, right? Uh, there are a bunch of different personas we have talked about, and you can understand what their problems would be. I have listed a few of them, but like if you just put yourself into their shoes, you'll be able to come up with many different problem statements, and it will be much more detailed than what I have given here. Okay. But the question to ask is, like, you can have maybe 100 or 500 different personas like this, right? What's stopping you from creating that? Is this the best way to divide your user personas, or can we do something better? Now I'm made to believe that you guys have uh, gone through something. Like in your first week, you have talked about first principles thinking and MECE. So anyone wants to take a crack at using MECE maybe or first principles thinking to make the user personas better? It's a tough question, and I believe a lot of you will not. No, not about empathy. Uh, so try to understand that, let's say I want to create something for last minute cooks. Okay. I honestly don't have a way to figure out just by looking at a user ID, which is what it will show up to me as. Uh, okay, there are maybe 100 user last minute cooks, or there are maybe 10,000 last minute cooks on the platform. And that makes a world of difference, right? I don't want to create something which is only usable by maybe 100 users. I want, like on a platform like Swiggy, which will have millions of users, 100 users just does not cut anything. So if you want to create user personas in a different way, how you would do that? And to be honest, if there is anyone from the MBA second years, they might be better placed to answer this question. So yeah. Okay. But how is that messy? Does everyone understand messy? Just say yes or no in the chat. If I see 10 no's, I'll just explain very quickly what it is. Okay. Then why are you guessing? Okay, all right. Okay, let's quickly do a recap. This, by the way, is shared by the ECEL team. Do read through it. It's a really good resource, to be honest. I was not expecting high quality resource, to be honest. But yeah, it surprised me. So firstly, what is first principles thinking? Let's say I give you the task. I want to improve profit for an organization by 10%. Okay. What is profit? It is revenue minus cost. That is all, right? So I will say to increase profit by 10%, either I increase revenue by something or I decrease cost by something. Yeah. And then I'll look at, okay, if increasing the revenue has 10 different levers, maybe cost may there are 10 different major costs. So fixed cost, variable cost. I will not go into what other types of costs there are, but dividing at each step to figure out which problem you want to solve. So instead of, let's say, saying, let's say there is a market for which we want to increase profitability by 10%, but it's saturated. So I know the revenue can't go any higher. Okay. What will I look at then? I will say, okay, my only option is to reduce cost. So I'll look at cost and figure out from the various different sources of cost what I can reduce. Okay. So breaking down the problem into chunks and then solving it is all that first principles thinking is. Okay. Nothing fancier than that. You would typically be doing this in your courses also. I will not try to give an example, but just take it from me. And if you try to look at examples where you are trying to break down the problems, I'm sure you'll find it too. When I say saturated, it means I know that revenue can't increase because we have already reached all the users possible and they are already buying at a level where increasing that, let's say a person is buying 7 times a week for any sort of product, it is unlikely that they'll buy any more, right? So saying that I'll go from 7 to 8 or 9 purchases in a week for a user might be unrealistic. And that's what saturation means. Yes, in the product life cycle, it's typically the maturity stage where things sort of plateau. Sure, it could be any reasons, not all that important. Okay, but this is first principles thinking. First principles thinking is nothing more than dividing your problems into smaller pieces and then figuring out which one to solve. Okay, and doing this repeatedly. For all the coders, I'm not sure how many of you are. It's sort of a recursive loop. Okay. Okay. The second one is MECE, mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive. Okay. I will write this in the chat. Okay. Now, what does this mean? If you guys have read through set theory in 11th or 12th, or if you have not even, kindly read through it, revisit it. What it means is you find groups or sets which do not have anything in common. So let's say there are two sets A and B. A intersection B is nil and A union B is the universe. Okay. Patnam, I will not do it. I want you to go through the material that the ECEL team has created for you. It's really good. It will explain things in a manner which I will not be able to because I have not come prepared for that part. Okay. So just go through the material. It's probably in the first or second set of material they have shared. And it's very, very good. All right. Now, here, if you look at, let's say, these personas, they are not messy. An impulse snacker could also be a busy professional, right? Mutually exclusive. So impulse snacker and busy professional are not mutually exclusive because the same person can be both. Maybe Anil is someone who is busy in his life. He's working at 1mg for long hours, but he's also an impulsive snacker who gets hungry at, let's say, 2 a.m. at night, right? So these are neither exclusive nor exhaustive. Okay. Why does that matter? See, when you go through things by creating a Macy framework, it just helps you cut down on the clutter. So you can focus on what's the immediate problem that you need to solve. Okay. And again, it's a way to break down the problems as much as possible. So first principles thinking and Macy will help you not just in product management, by the way, it will help you everywhere, but especially in product management. How much time? Okay, we are quite late. Okay, I will move forward for now of what's a better way to divide these personas. Okay. I will take the questions at the end if you don't mind. So for the Instamart case, you have all the users on the platform. Then you can divide it on the basis of whether they have come to the platform before or is it their first time. Okay. So you can divide it in new users versus repeat users. Repeat users being people who have tried it before. Then within new users, you can divide it on the basis of how they were acquired on the platform. So organic user would be someone who directly types the name of the website in the browser and it reaches here. Marketing could be very different types of marketing. I won't bore you with the detail, but essentially advertisements. And referral could mean I told, let's say, Turvi, and she goes to a website and looks at it. Repeat users, uh, currently I have divided it on the basis of how often do you use the platform. Uh, Now, this does not have to be the only Macy structure, okay? But it does the job. I have written it here, but please understand that the only reason this approach, and by the way, this is a very popular approach by uh, all the companies that you would ever interview for or ever work for, uh, because it gives you a very structured way to see what kind of users are there on the platform, how frequently they use it, and if I want to target one particular persona, it just becomes very easy to see ki, okay, these users, let's say marketing users come to the platform once every month, buy about 1,000 rupees of material every time, and then come back the next month. Okay, it's a very transactional information that I have present for this user. Okay. It helps me drive the business case very well. What it does not do is, unlike the earlier version where, I know who this person is. Like I know at least one person in my life who is a last minute cook who always figures out too late that he's out of ingredients. Okay. I know at least one impulse snacker. I can relate to them. I can't relate to these personas, whatever they are. Is it possible to combine them? Yes. And that's what we typically do in product management. Will I give you an example right now? No, I do not have one. But having said that, if you just think through a few examples on your own free time, trying to develop your product sense, I'm sure you'll be able to come up with 10 different good ways to do it. And it does not have to be perfect. So at this stage, let's say if I have, uh, buy once a month, I don't need to do MECE further. Okay. I might just need to look at, okay, these people who buy once a month, what kind of usage do they have? And I can just call up maybe 10 users to see, okay, why do you use it only once a month? Acha, you're ordering monthly groceries. Oh, you are a working professional. The person will tell you on their own. Okay, and that works. The last one, why YouTube launched Shorts in India first. Typically, all the global companies target India market much later. YouTube did not do that with Shorts. They launched Shorts in India before they launched Shorts anywhere else in the world, including USA, uh, which I think was launched 6 months after India. Can someone guess why? This was a particularly popular thing. So, yes, exactly. TikTok was hugely addictive, had amassed 200 million users at this point, got banned in mid 2020. And you know why TikTok works? Like, why do they have these many, like these two aspects, 200 million users and addictive platform? Why do they have it? It's because prior to TikTok, it was always long form content which you need to edit for days on end before you can post anywhere. Okay? Not just the shorts, man. Instagram Reels outdates TikTok Reels. But Instagram Reels did not achieve the same level of, so it wasn't exactly Reels, it was videos. But Instagram was never able to solve this problem to an extent that TikTok did. I should not really call it a problem. It's not a problem. It's more a habit. Okay. But the simple question that TikTok asked themselves is, what if we could make anyone go viral? They don't have to be influencers. Okay, that's the key. After that, Instagram improved their video platform to morph into Reels, and YouTube also launched Shorts within, I think, 3 months of TikTok ban. YouTube actually had missed the bus on the short form content because they did not believe in it for the longest time. And there were people inside who had invested in Vines. I'm sure none of you would actually remember what YouTube Vines was, but you can try and search for it and you will find something very similar to what you see on Instagram or YouTube Shorts right now. Now, what happened here was YouTube just saw that there's an open market. There is no one who is claiming it. In this particular market, I have the lead as well. So at this point of time, YouTube had around 550 million users in India, which is huge. Okay. If they had just launched, and this is also after 2016 when the internet boom happened. So Geo actually helped all the internet businesses a lot. YouTube also took advantage of it after TikTok got banned. Apart from these things that there was a market to be captured, uh, YouTube already was doing videos. Okay, so they had the tech, they had the recommendation platform, so to say, which could help with this particular problem statement. So understanding the company's vision and a little bit of maths also plays a huge role in making product decisions. Uh, when I say math, I typically mean metrics. It's not heavy math. Nothing that you would have done in 11th or 12th is actually going to get used here. Okay, maybe statistics, but then you learn a lot more of it in college. And I would urge everyone to pay attention to all the normal distribution curves and all of that, because that does come in help. Like on a daily basis, I do have a few discussions within my team around those aspects. Kindly take the time to learn them. All right. Before we proceed, uh, does anyone have any questions? Feel free to ask in the chat. I have not discussed any more case studies. I did not think we'll have enough time, and I think we do not have time. Yeah, we don't have time. So feel free to ask any questions, and then we'll talk about how to, like what you can do right now to develop your product sense.
Everyone just raise your hands and we'll call out your name one by one for doubts.
Jaisha. The question is that if you have any questions, feel free to ask Manoj. Ishan, do you want to? Yeah, so typically the metrics that you need to know would be uh, largely categorized into something called engagement and then something called uh, revenue metrics. Apart from that, you have, let's say you go into the marketing domain, then you would need to know the source of acquisition. So if you look at this, all users is typically calculated in something like a DAU or MAU, because you look at the data on a daily basis or a monthly basis. How many users opened your platform in the given amount of time? And similar to that, then you can bifurcate into what was a new user DAU, how many organic users came onto the platform and things like that. Okay. Uh, in terms of whether it requires a technical background or not, it really does not. Like amongst all the technical aspects of product management, this is not one of them. This is more business than anything else, and business, almost every stream of educational background needs to a certain extent. So basic maths, which you would have learned by probably uh, fifth or sixth class in most cases, and a little bit of statistics is what you need. Statistics is a little technical, but then again, as product managers, we are not supposed to know a lot of it. When you go in, when you're working on it for, let's say, 2 3 years, you will develop those skills. But just to get into product management, you might not need all the technical statistic skills in the world. Any other questions, guys? Okay, let's proceed. So product sense, like if you have gone through the material even a little bit, you would have at least read that it's something which can be easily developed. You have already read about first principles thinking and Macy, extremely critical, guys. And I'm not talking about just product management. It's a very logical way to think. So do give a read on those things. It will help you even if you are going on to become a developer, if you are going into, let's say, marketing, operations. For that matter, if you're going into your code engineering domains as well, these concepts help. So first principle thinking is also known as, I think, design thinking, and is fairly common in the core fields. Uh, so yeah, apart from them, there are methods like circles and jobs to be done. These are frameworks for product managers. Uh, what do they help with exactly is that, guys, feel free to ask questions here. I'll just address them in a bit. Uh, what these frameworks actually help with is, see, if we talk about first principles thinking and Macy, they don't really tell you what all steps do I need to ensure that I have done to actually address a product problem. It's a way of thinking. It can help you structure your thoughts. Okay. Once you have a very specific thing you're looking at. But these methods, circles, or jobs to be done actually help you figure out, okay, there are 10 steps I need to make sure to create a product. How many of them have I done? Okay. Are these frameworks exhaustive? Actually, let me change that question. Do I use them on a daily basis as a product manager? Absolutely not. Why do I still recommend them? Because right now you are in a phase where you are trying to develop your product sense. These frameworks only help you when you're trying to develop the product sense. Uh, you will inevitably morph them once you start working as a PM in any of the companies. But to begin with, uh, very helpful guides. I'll not go into this. This was for an interview specific audience. I don't think any of you are actually there yet. Having said that, very helpful to go through these situations, like clarifying the situation, identifying who you're solving for, what are their problems, how do I prioritize those problems, listing down solutions, and then evaluating, okay, this solution will do XYZ things good, but maybe ABC things bad. So comparing them and then choosing which one to actually solve for is a good way to go about any product management problem in general. Okay. So yeah, that's about it from the presentation. I'll be here for a few more minutes. Feel free to ask any other questions also. I'll address them as they come. Okay. YouTube as a big platform always has to seek someone that somebody is going to. Acha. Let me answer that slightly differently. So there would have been, let's say, 100 different startups that were solving something in this domain of video platforms. Okay, so something like an Instagram was doing something in the short form content. TikTok obviously was there. Snapchat would have probably done something too, I'm not sure. And countless others which would have existed. As YouTube, I can't honestly look at all the signals and think that, this is something which could be huge and I need to solve for it. Should YouTube do it? Yes. What does it come down to? Do I have enough people to take care of it? If I don't have enough people to take care of it, then I have to prioritize which problems I'm picking, right? By the time, and it's not like YouTube completed the entire, so this YouTube Shorts thing was already in development. It's not like they developed it after TikTok got banned. It's just that when TikTok got banned, they accelerated their development just so they could capture this market. But the idea was already being worked on. Okay? So they were not necessarily late in the sense that uh, they would not have caught up with TikTok if TikTok had not left. Having said that, yes, how it should ideally have come into YouTube's product development was not seeing other competitors who are doing it, rather trying to talk to the users and seeing if they have some time that they are trying to utilize in some other types of content. And on that note, figure out that, okay, short form content will work much, much better. How would that have happened? I'm not sure. The only guess I can make in that regard is that boredom is something that everyone hates. And YouTube could have said that, okay, uh, people like short snippets of a few things. Let's try something in that domain. And they had tried it with Vines. It's just the format wasn't good enough. It wasn't mobile friendly. So yeah, that. Anything else? projects or research ideas related to PM. Yeah, so again, like I don't really have anything actively that I don't see anything actively going on. Having said that, there are a lot of amazing technologies which have come up in the past few years. Gen AI being one of them, where a lot of different startups have started. You can research about them. You can, in fact, use LLMs to research about them. But a few other technologies have also come up apart from the Gen AI piece. Uh, I think 2-3 years back, blockchain was quite huge. Prior to that, also, I think EVs had come up quite aggressively. Right now, one thing which will come up in the next probably 4 or 5 years would be automated vehicles. Uh, there are companies like Google, Tesla, uh, who have invested heavily in this domain. And if you look at the progress made in not just US but also China, it's a very exciting place. So you can look at that and see how this is getting marketed. I'm sure it will give you a lot of insights into how people typically market their products. Uh, Apart from that, I'm sure there are more technologies in the world. Uh, IoT is something which has been there for quite some time, but again, it's being used much more aggressively these days. Almost everything is connected to the internet, almost all the devices actually at your home, to the point that I think my fridge also can be connected to the Wi-Fi. I've not done it, but yeah, uh, amazing tech which you can research about. Right? I think there won't be any more questions. Should we conclude the session then?
All right. So it was a wonderful session, sir. Thank you so much for taking out the time to do this. I'm pretty sure it was very insightful and engaging for all of us. So thank you so much from our side.
Okay, and just one thing for the ESL team, guys, I looked at your material. I was actually very impressed. And whoever is going through the course, pay a little more, like put a little more appreciation for the work that these guys have done, uh, and go through the material. It's actually very amazing, and it's not about just product management, to be honest. It's very, very useful across fields. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Coming from your side, it means a lot to the entire ESL team. So thank you so much. And so with this, we conclude. Thank you everyone for joining. All the best with PM 5.0.